Welcome back to our channel Teaching and Learning English. In this channel we mainly talk about business communication, English language, IELTS practice and other many academic and professional skills related activities and skills. So today in this video I'm going to talk about English language, and in case of learning English language, the main issue is nowadays many people, many scholars and teachers, they encourage their learners and their the candidates to practice English language with the native speaker. English language in this context is only the examples, and before moving to English language learning, let's talk a little bit about what happens with non-native speaker or native speaker. So as we know, native speaker refers to those people who really learn English language as their mother tongue or their first language. So English is their native language. But non-native speakers are those people whose mother tongue is different than English. It may be Chinese, it may be Indian, Japanese or Korean or whatever, but their mother tongue is different and they have learned English language as the second language or foreign language. So in this regard, so is it recommended only or it is compulsory, or to what extent it makes benefits towards our learning English language when we go and practice our English or learn our English with the native speaker. So in this context, rather than being more technical, more theoretical, today I really want to be more practical in this regard, because we need to apply it, and we should remove the misunderstanding, or we should have the clear-cut idea about the importance or significance of native speaker to learn English language. So what I experience and what I have learned till now is, it is okay to practice your English or to learn your English with native speaker. Native speakers means British, American, Australian, Canadian, people from New Zealand, and some of the people in South Africa are also native English speakers. So nowadays in present condition, okay, so native speakers are really useful, and if you have access to practice your English with native speaker, that's lovely, that's beautiful. But is it compulsory? Is it required? In what areas of language they actually help to practice to learn your English language? So I am going to talk those areas where native speaker can make your English better and more performative. So number one is pronunciation. If you really want to improve your pronunciation skills, how to pronounce the words and sentences, then obviously you have to get support from native speaker, because they are the one we often take them the role model. So what we really want to learn, what we really want to mastery, get mastery in English language, then pronunciation is one of the very important skills or knowledge that we can get support from native speakers. So if you really want to improve your pronunciation of English language, so why don't you go and practice English with native speakers. It doesn't mean that non-native speaker cannot teach pronunciation of English language. They also can teach, but better. If you are looking for better outcome, better learning status, then obviously native speakers are better than non-native speaker in case of learning pronunciation. So second one is fluency. Fluency refers to the speed of speaking. It is you need to maintain the speed of the naturalness or natural speaking of that language. For example, English, in comparison to Hindi, Nepalese and other languages, seems to be more fast, let's say more fluent, faster than these languages. So fluency refers to the natural way of speaking without any pause, without any obstructions or repetition. If you are able to speak English language, then you maintain the fluency. So to learn, to acquire that fluency also, it is better if you have access to native speakers. So why don't you go and practice and learn some of the techniques, some of the ways, and why don't you practice to maintain for the fluency of your English language. That is also important. If you have a kind of habit to speak English very slow with lots of repetition and pauses, for example, many people often say, my name is, I really wanted to tell, so that is called the pause. And repetition is, if we want to say one thing and we try to say it from 3 or 4 different angles, or we repeat the half of the sentences, or sometimes words only, sometimes the full sentences. So, first one is pronunciation and second one is fluency. These 2 skills are better learned with native speakers. Okay, so the third one is naturalness. Whenever we speak or we communicate with the native speakers, sometimes with other people whose first language is not our first language. For example, when a Chinese meets Indian at that time, or when a Chinese meets American at that time, also we require the naturalness. Does it look like as in the American societies or market? So that's the main question. Naturalness means whenever we speak English language at that time, it should be hard or listened, or people should take it more naturally rather than a strange way of speaking, sometimes because of lacking the stress and intonation, and other times not maintaining the body language, and so many things might be over there. Okay, linguistic, paralinguistic features. But if you really want to make your English natural in the sense that how naturally the British and American people speak English, then you have to go to the native speakers and learn English language with them and learn some of the techniques and ways how we can actually use English language in a more natural setting. So the next one is slangs. Slangs means there are the expressions that the people really use either in a particular gender, or in a particular culture, in a particular age group, or it might be a particular professions, wherever, certain type of expressions. Let me tell you some of the words or sentences or phrases that are used in a particular group. So, it is very difficult if you don't get a chance to native speakers and you really don't have idea how to use slangs with them. And the last but not the least is colloquialism. Some words actually are more appropriate with other words, so they fit each other. So at that time, your communication skills goes very well. So colloquialism, what people actually communicate, what is the how the words are colloquial each others. So in particular context, that is also easily learned and practiced and can get mastery over the English language with the native speaker. So native speaker can really support your English use, English learning and English practice from different angles and sectors. If you have the access, I have already mentioned, if you have the access and if your friends are native speakers, then learn everything with them. There is no harm. But if you are not in the access, or if you don't have the friends, or if you do not know any native speakers who really want to teach you or support your English language at that time, what you can do is at least these 5 things. First one is pronunciation, second fluency, third naturalness, fourth slangs, and 5 is colloquialism. These things are better learned with the native speakers. Now let's move to the non-native speakers. So self, or somebody who is not American or British, or whose first language is not English language at that time, what you really can learn with them. Obviously you can learn with them the vocabularies, words you can learn with them, and the grammars, the structures, how to put those words and vocabulary into meaningful sentences. That is also you can learn. And the last but not the least is meaning. You can also learn the meaning with the non-native speakers. So these are the things. Now let me conclude today's video that so you can practice your English in terms of vocabularies or words, structure or grammars or meanings. You can learn yourself with non-native speaker also. But if you really want to improve your pronunciation skills, and if you really want to make your language fluent, natural, and if you learn some of the slangs and colloquialism, at that time you need to learn, you need to practice, you should get some ideas with the native speakers. So if you do not know anyone native speakers, don't worry. Nowadays in YouTube there are many videos of native speakers. In this channel also, Teaching Learning English, there are some of the conversations, some of the discussion and interview with native speakers. And I really want to assure you that I will upload some of the videos which help you in case of pronunciations, fluency, naturalness, slangs and colloquialism from very practical levels, communicating with native speakers, and we can check each other's pronunciation also. So until then, thank you very much for watching this video, and see you all guys in the next videos. Thank you. Have a great time. Thank you.